What's the first thing you think of when you wake up in the morning?
Thank God for another day. I always put on my Twitter, I don't know if you follow me on my Twitter, or whatnot, but I always say today's a perfect day to make a positive experience in someone's life. I love putting a smile on someone's face, and I feel like if you want blessings, you got to be willing to bless others. And like I say, thank God for this opportunity. Thank God for another day. Let's get dressed. Let's brush our teeth. Let's get our clothes on. Let's get going and see what type of positivity that we can bring to someone.
All right, you're now tuned in to WayOfWalton podcast, and I'm your host, Big J, Jalen Walton. I know what you're thinking. We're kind of in a new place right now, but the guest, he requested this. He want to say, if you want the interview, you got to come on my turf. So it's like, with a lot of things in life, like if you want things done, you got to meet people where they at. So that's why I'm here. So a little bit about the guest. He's been in the coaching field for a while. Been grinding. Like I remember when he coached against. We played against his team like around 8th grade. To make the story, short, we beat him. And then
You were pretty good, though. You were pretty good.
Yeah, and then you coached where you went to.
I left Paris. I left Paris when I went to Bourbon County.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
And then, then I seen him at EKU, the regionals with
Yes.
with Douglas.
Yes.
Now he's back home. Welcome to the show, Shawn Ransom.
All right. Hey, thank you, Mr. Walton. I appreciate you having me on. It's always good, when we see people from our community going out and they're doing good things and they're bringing some excitement and things back in their field. So it's a pleasure me being here and ready to roll.
Yes, sir. Okay, so just talk a little bit about your basketball background. Let's start with as a player.
All right. Well, basketball background, as a player, I played here at Paris High School. I'm alumni, not born in Paris, but raised in Paris, all my life, all my career. I didn't play college basketball. I probably could have had a chance to go somewhere small and play, but I figured, I wanted to go. I always thought I was going to be in broadcasting, so I went to EKU. I was in the broadcasting communications department there, and I just started venturing out. And the next thing I know, I get a phone call from the legendary coach Russ Day, who was at Bourbon County, at the time, and he was working with the middle school sports and things down there, and they had a position for me. They were looking for a middle school football coach, and I was really not a football guy, or whatnot. But at the same time, I took on the task. I got into coaching, and I always told him before I took that job of coaching, I'm a basketball guy. I want to coach basketball, or whatnot. He says, well, just be patient. Be patient, and you never know what may happen. Well, you look up midway through the football season. There, I was coaching the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade football teams at Bourbon County. The basketball coach I don't know if he just didn't want to do it anymore. But make a long story short, their job became available. Right. So I jumped on that, and I just felt like that was my calling. I took a chance with the football. I ended up getting the basketball job, as far as me being a young, coach at the time. I took that chance, I ran with it, and, here I am, you look up 20 years later, I'm sitting here, I've been through the grind, or whatnot. So I went from coaching middle school basketball at Bourbon County, and Coach Day would always tell me, if you want to be a head coach, then 9 times out of 10, you got to go into education, because they really want their coaches, on campus, where they can interact with the students and the athletes and stuff or whatnot. So I changed my major from communications to teaching, and I went into the teaching profession, and, here I am now. I'm sitting here, and I'm giving back to my community, and things like that. Going from middle school basketball, Bourbon County, I got an opportunity to join Daniel Brown, who came to Bourbon County in the early 2000s, and he needed a freshman coach, so he brought me on his staff. Of course, I had to give up my middle school, which, if you want to move up the ranks, you got to do what you have to do. So I took that job with Daniel Brown. I did that job for him, and Daniel, he left, ended up going to Henry Clay. I stayed on Bourbon County staff with a guy named Jay Borders. I moved up from freshman coach with Daniel Brown to the head assistant with Jay Borders and the JV coach there at Bourbon County. And then when Coach Borders had left, I went to Lexington. I finished my degree at EKU. I got my teaching certificate, and I went to a place called Breckenridge Elementary School right there on Richmond Road, and I just happened to get on at Lafayette High School. I got on at Lafayette, and you know, being young like that, you coming from a small town like this, you hear the name Lafayette High School, and like it's a household name in the state of Kentucky. And I worked for a guy named Greg Codiron, you know, a super guy, taught me a lot about the game. Or whatnot, and the next thing I know, Coach Codiron, he resigns, he retires, so I'm looking for a job. I'm still teaching PE at Breckenridge Elementary, and a gentleman named John Barnes, who was the principal, one of the principals at Bryan Station High School at the time, he just happened to show up in our office one day, so I got called from my gym there. I went to the office, our head principal was like, you know, we got a guy here who wants to speak with you. So make a long story short, Bryan Station had a coach by the name of Mike Allen. It's probably a household name in the state of Kentucky. He's probably the all-time leading scorer, I believe, in Fayette County Public Schools history. He brought me on his staff. I worked with Jerron Brown, you know, Jerron Brown, who is now the head coach at Woodford County, you know, high school. I worked with Jerron Brown and Coach Allen, and I was there for, I think, maybe 2 years. And then Bryan Station needed a girls basketball coach. And here I am, you know, I'm grinding. Which basketball is basketball, but I had never coached girls before. And I thought about the task, you know, and to make a long story short, I took the job. And you know, I did 4 years at Bryan Station High School with that girls program. In that 4 years at Bryan Station High School, we had a lot of success in the district. We actually made it all the way to a region final. You know, I took my team to a region final at Eastern Kentucky University. I mean, they taught me a lot about myself, about coaching. You know, when you set your bar high and things like that, like, you know, good things happen to you. So in 4 years as the head coach at Bryan Station for the girls program, I believe I had probably 13, 14 girls go to college, you know, and that was unheard of, you know, at the time. I had, of those 13, 14 girls, I had 5 of those girls went Division I. I had a young lady go to University of Alabama. I had a young lady go to Eastern Kentucky University. I had another young lady go to John A. Logan. I had a young lady go to Oakland University, you know, in Michigan and things like that. And I think that kind of spearheaded, you know, my name as far as being out there. You know, I coach against some of the other coaches in the city and I said, Coach, what's your secret? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they were like, you know, how do you get those girls to school like that? You know, and I tell them it's really not me. You know, it's them. Those girls that go out, they work hard, they produce for you and things like that. It's my job as their leader to go out and to find them all types of experiences and things like that. And like I say, we hit the ground running, man, and Frederick Douglass, you know, opened up. It's strange though, you know, because right when we went for that region final, you know, at Bryan Station, you know, I got the opportunity, or I was talked about the opportunity to come home and to coach the Bourbon County boys team. And my administration, who I love, who is actually still at Frederick Douglass, you know, we kind of had a meeting, and they were like, well, Coach, we want you to go over here to this new school and start this program for us, you know, whatnot. So here I am. I'm finna rock at a hard place. You know, here's my chance to start my dream as being a boys head coach, or I can go over here and start a brand new school, you know, in Fayette County. So, you know, to make a long story short, I took that opportunity. I went to Frederick Douglass, started a brand new program. I mean, when you're doing stuff like that, you really don't know what you're going to get, you know, whatnot. Here I am coming off of Bryan Station. We had 20-win seasons. And here I am going to Frederick Douglass, who, you know, the brand new school, the enrollment, you know, of course, is going up every single year, but I didn't know what type of player was walking through the door. And first couple of years, you know, they were kind of rocky. You know, we're playing 8th graders, you know, against varsity players, you know, so we're outmanned, but they're stronger than us, they're faster than us, things like that. But I stayed on the grind, and then I had a young lady by the name of Destiny Jackson. You know, she was my savior. You know, she walked through the door, you know, 2 years later there at Frederick Douglass, and man, I tell you, I just speak volumes about that young lady. She arguably is probably one of the best players that I've ever coached, you know, boys or girls. And I've coached some real good ball players. Yeah. To make a long story short, I believe she ended up being maybe second or third in the state, you know, in scoring that year. She would average, you know, 28, 29, 30 points, you know, every single ball game. She had a couple games where she hit 50. She ended up going to Wright State University. They ended up going to a NCAA tournament berth. You know, they hadn't had one of those in a while. Yeah. And their coach left, and she actually got the head coaching job at Memphis, for the Memphis Tigers. So that's where Destiny is now. Destiny is a junior at Memphis. She's playing big-time college basketball. I believe she'll be the starting point guard, you know, for Memphis. And, you know, I mean, I love her to death. And then now, you look at me now, I mean, I'm back home. I left Frederick Douglass. When Destiny left, I went back to the boys' side because that's my dream of being a boys' head basketball coach. So I went back to the boys' side. I took a head assistant job over there at Frederick Douglass with a guy named Jason Mosley. We had some great success. Like you say, you see me at EKU again. You know, I mean, I took the girls to the region down there. We had some success. So now I'm back here at EKU with Frederick Douglass boys, and we made it all the way to the region final. So I've been to a region final twice as a coach. One as a head coach, one as a head assistant. We haven't knocked down the door as far as getting to the Sweet 16, but that is one of my dreams, you know, whatnot. And Paris, you know, it's always home to me. It took me 3 times.
Yeah, so you at Douglas.
Yes.
And then you go to the regional, so y'all got a lot of hype around you.
Oh, man.
What made you just want to be like, you know, I don't want to do this no more. I want to go to Paris.
Well,
not like do it no more.
Yeah,
I want to switch it up.
Yes, sir. I understand what you're saying. It's always a calling. You know, I always feel like it's a calling, and I always want to jump at the opportunity, you know, when it comes about. So when the Paris job came open for the 3rd time, you know, I was debating, should I go for it again? Like I went for it twice. I didn't get it, you know what I mean? But it's a gift and a curse because both of those times I didn't get that job here, I end up at 6A schools, you know, and I'm getting an opportunity that a Class A school wouldn't give me. But, you know, that's water over the bridge, you know, or whatnot. I was fortunate enough to get called in for an interview here at Paris High School. We have some great people here. Coach Barr, he's the athletic director. I played for Coach Barr, you know, when I was here. And, you know, they gave me a chance. They hired me as it's wild, man. They hired me as the head coach here at Paris, but I was still teaching at Frederick Douglass. Yeah. You know, 3 weeks after I get this job, school year's already started, Frederick Douglass gets rid of their head coach. So I'm still teaching there. They come talk to me, Coach, we got a head coaching position open now. You were the head assistant, you know, per se, you know, and what about Paris? So I make a few phone calls, you know, this and that, and make a long story short, you know, Paris, they opened up some doors for me as far as where I can come in the building now. So now here I am, I'm at Paris. I am the Dean of Students, Assistant Principal here at Paris Middle School, and then I'm also the Athletic Director, you know, here at Paris Middle School to go along with my high school varsity coaching duties. So I get a chance to be hands-on, you know, in the building, around the kids, you know, whatnot. I can build my program from the ground up. You know, I'm in charge of middle school, of course, you know, and all the way to the high school. So I can put my stamp, you know, on things that I want to do. And there's some great talent around this area and this school, man. And I always feel like they really haven't had a chance to have people advocate for them. Nothing against anybody that was here, but I feel like with my background and with some of the people that I know and some of the college contacts and things that I've came across over the past, my coaching career, man, I feel like the sky's the limit. You know, I know a lot of people think Paris is down, but I don't think that way. I feel like we got a bunch of young guys that are going to be scrappy and get out there on the floor and give their all for not only the school, but for the community, you know, for the parents and everyone who supports these young men here. So
it seems like you got a lot of, like, persistence, just like Because like you said, like you applied for Paris a
Yes,
couple times,
yes,
and you didn't get it.
yes,
But you was like, maybe this time.
yes, yes.
So just talk about like your patience as a person, like. Maybe this can come up to your home bringing.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
does that come from?
yeah. Well, man, I have a great upbringing. I was, like I say, raised here in Paris, Kentucky, and that's one of my main things. Like I'm always a chill guy. A laid back type of person to where you may not get the results that you want the first time, but you can't give up. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially the second time that I didn't get the Paris job. Like as a grown man, I cried because it really meant that much to me, whatnot. And like I try to preach to these kids and the athletes that I've coached, like you have to be patient in life. You can't give up on your dreams and your goals and your ambitions, whatnot. There's so many people out there trying to do things to pull you down, but you can't let that affect you. You got to do things to pull you up and to uplift you and everyone else around you. And that's what I'm bringing to the program: positive energy, positive vibes, hard work, and the grind is really real in this. Like I say, it took me 13 years as an assistant coach, middle school, high school, to even get an opportunity to be a head coach. And the first opportunity that I get is girls basketball. You know what I mean? And like I say, in Fayette County, especially Bryan Station, you get athletes. So I just took that chance and I ran with it. And I feel like that patience, is what really put me in the position that I am now. So I'm ready to roll. I'm here. I'm working hard for these kids, and they're working hard for me. And we're going to give you something to be proud of.
Right. So girls basketball is like, so you got that opportunity because you wanted to be a head.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
girls
sir.
basketball people like they have a little stigma around.
They
them,
do.
like,
They do. They do.
It's
They.
not really basketball or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So how do you like? Dang, do you look at it as like what do you see that? It's like, I can't do what I really want to do, but I have to do this, for now.
Yeah. Well, one thing with me, coaching is coaching. You know what I mean? Basketball is basketball. I think it helped smooth the transition for me to be the head coach at Bryan Station because I was already teaching there and I was already coaching there on the boys' side. So a lot of the players that they had were familiar with me through my classroom, whatnot. So that, that alone was kind of, one of the main things that kind of I kind of took off my plate as far as the stigma that they have for girls basketball. And honestly, man, coaching girls basketball is fun, man. Like girls basketball, they're gonna do exactly what you say. If I tell them go out here and set a screen, then roll, then that's what they're gonna do. I feel like they really focus on fundamentals, a whole lot more, in girls basketball, and things like that. And I feel like me coaching that girls basketball program there and getting me started, like that really let me know, is this something I really want to do or I don't want to do? I go back and I'm watching things like from Gino Ariema, he's a head girls coach at UConn, and some of these other people that are having great experience, and had success, and I was just trying to bring some of that positive vibe and energy, back into the girls program, man. And I tell you what, I don't regret it one bit. If it was to go back and coach girls basketball again at some point, hopefully it would be at the college level. I really have no desire to coach high school girls basketball anymore. But if a college opportunity came about, I would probably something I would entertain. But I love Paris, man. Like I say, to me, this is not a stepping stone job. This is like my dream job. I mean, I wore the jersey here. You know what I mean? Like I sit on the bench as a freshman. I'm watching guys like Alvin Sims and and your Corey Dunfors, and stuff like that. So. I just want our guys to appreciate the tradition that we have here at Paris High School, man. And like, everybody's just been so great as far as just getting on the same page and just welcoming me with open arms, whatnot, and my ideas, and the things that I'm doing. I'm blessed to come in an administrative role with brand new administration at the middle school and the high school. So we're all in this together, and man, we all on the same page, and it's just like, the man above put me in the right place, at the right time. And if I was to get the Paris job, those first two times, I would never had this administrative role. Right. You know what I mean? So I feel like everything happens for a reason, and with me not getting the opportunity the first 2 times, I was still grinding though. I was still grinding, I was still going to school, I was still getting my education. I was just spending a lot of time doing the stuff that I love. And just like with coaching, man, I do this for free. Just because it's just something that I really love to do, but I also like to see the smile on the kids' face when they do things that they normally think they couldn't do, or they get an opportunity to pull themselves from their socioeconomic background that they're coming from to better themselves and things like that. Like, it feels good to make a positive difference in a person's life, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah, speaking of positive influence in a person's life, so let's transition a little bit to fatherhood.
Oh, yes.
So you just talk about, just being a coach, kind of correlates together with being a father.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of kids, parents, they give you their kids for, a couple of hours for you to teach them.
Right.
How to be men, how to be better basketball players. So just like take us through a little bit, through your, like how fatherhood kind of impacts you a lot.
Well, like a coach to me is a mentor type of person, a father figure. I take pride in being a father. I love my babies, man, and I take pride in being a father and being a leader, and just being the person that the players, can come to and they can trust. Like I believe you treat your players just like you treat your own kids, whatnot. And I have this saying, the real recognize real, anywhere you go, man. And kids nowadays, like a lot of them have the social media. They grow up a whole lot faster than what we grew up, coming up. So kids, they know when you're shooting them a lot of nonsense, and things like that. And that's one thing I won't do. I always believe in being real, with my own kids, and being real with the players and my expectations and fulfillments that I have for them, man. And I love it though, Mr. Walton. Like, I love what I do. I love making a positive difference, whether it's tough love or just, that pat on the back or whatever it is. Like, I'm going to give them 110% every single chance that I get. And it shows, when you see a kid out in the community that you've coached 10, 15 years ago, and they come up and they show you love and say, Coach, you don't understand what you did for me and the impact that you had. Now they raising kids, whatnot. I seen a young man about 3 weeks ago. He had a son. And he named his son Shawn. And I was like, he's like, Coach, you don't understand, like, you mean a lot to me. You mean a lot to me. So, just like I keep telling you, the best is yet to come, and I'm just trying to inspire people and do the right thing.
God's a big part of my life.
Yes.
I read the Bible and stuff.
All right.
And then there's a verse in there that says, be fruitful and multiply.
Okay.
And I said, you got a lot of kids.
Yes, I do.
You plan on keep multiplying?
Well, you know what, man? It's God's plan. You know what I mean? I never put a number. I never put a price on something. You know what I mean?
You feel like you're getting old in age?
Man, listen, you only as old as you feel. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 44 years old, but I feel like I'm 25. You know what I mean? I'm honestly, when I say that, and I know a lot of the gray, it may not look that way. I've lost a little bit up top, with my hair and things, but man, I feel like I got like 20 more years of coaching, at least, in me. And if a college opportunity doesn't come about, I'm gonna be right here. Like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go anywhere. And even if a college opportunity came about, I'm not saying I would really take that. But like with fatherhood, man, it's so real. You know what I mean? Like, when I was married at a young age, I was married at 21. I was going to EKU. I just got into coaching, and here I am. I have a young lady. I have my first baby. Her name's Alexis. She was homecoming queen, here at Paris High School before, man. And it changed my life. You know what I mean? So here I am. I'm sitting around, and I got three daughters. At the age of 28, I got a divorce, and
So what was that like? So just.
I mean, it was tough at first.
How old was you when you got married?
I was 21. I was 21 when I got married. I was 28 when I got divorced. I had 3 daughters with my ex-wife. We went our ways. I was coaching. We just really didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but I kept my girls. They stayed with me. Like I raised my daughters. Not saying their mom wasn't there at all, but they lived with me 24/7. You know, I was getting up and I was driving to EKU, still working on my degree. You know, and my mother, man, my mother is my rock. Like without the help of my mother, none of this would be possible. Because my mother would get up in the morning, come to my house, be there at 6 a.m. so I can get ready, so I can get in the car and I can drive to EKU and get my education. She would make sure they got on the bus. She would make sure they got off the bus, you know, or whatnot. And she would just stay there, man, and just let me make my way, you know, or whatnot. And I'm just so grateful, you know, for the things that she's done for me. So now, you know, here I am. I look up. I'm having a son. He's named Reed. He's named after my stepfather. And then my family went through another loss before I lost my pops. I lost my nephew, Jamon, who is my brother's son. You know, he had some medical issues and things going on, and he was very dear to me and my family. You know, so my son's name is Reed Allen Jamon Ransom. You know, and that's paying homage to two of the people that I really feel like was very influential, you know, in my life and that I love and I miss dearly every single day. So, you know, my new son, Reed, he's gonna live. You know, he's one of the main reasons that I gave him that name is because of the young man, and he's got a big legacy to fulfill, you know. And as he gets older, I'll share the experiences and the things that caused him to get the name that he has.
Right. Okay. Let's go back a little bit. So, you say you was married for like 7 years. So what kind of like has marriage taught you?
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, marriage has taught me how to be responsible. You know what I mean? How to be responsible. You know, when you're young, of course, you think you know everything, you know, and experience is the best teacher, you know, and I say the same things to my players, you know what I mean? And being married and going through those trials and tribulations, you know, or whatnot, it helped me become a better person, you know, and a better man, you know, or whatnot. And I'm so grateful for all the things that I went through in my life, you know, in order to get me to where I am now. And I wouldn't change a thing, though. I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, of course, you want things to go perfect, but nobody's perfect. You know, life's not perfect for anyone. So, and that's one of the things I also preach to the players. So it's a process. You know, it's a process. And like I say, I wish everyone the best in life. And, you know, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again, you know what I mean? But I'm happy and I'm living my life to the fullest. And hopefully the good Lord has some great things planned for me ahead.
So the upcoming season. So what's your expectations? So like what y'all doing right now to prepare for it, or what's your mindset?
Well, I tell you what, man. Everybody's counting us out. You know what I mean, and that's fine. You know, I would much rather come in the back door and leave out the front per se, if that's what I can do. You know, coming in with Paris here, it's a little different. You know, I'm coming from a top 10 program. You know, in Fayette County region final. And here I am coming into a program where I think they maybe won 3, 4, 5 games, you know, or something like that last year. So really they have nowhere to go but up. We got a lot of new faces, you know, on the team or whatnot. I see the top 10 rankings last week, man, and I tell you what, we use it as motivation. They ranked the region, the 10th region here, and I looked for our name and I didn't see it. You know what I mean? And I'm looking around and I'm seeing names of schools I feel like that we are better than. You know, so we're just gonna go out and prove it. You know, like I tell our guys, this here is your motivation to want to go out and put it to every single person that we play every single night. I believe in uniformity, you know, and strength in numbers. So my main thing is trying to change the culture, you know, here and get back to the traditional ways that we have. Like Paris is rich in tradition. Like we always have good teams and good athletes and things like that. And I felt like these past few years, they kind of gotten away from it. You know, our football team has created a great culture with Coach Rice and things like that. I'm at every football game on Friday nights on the sideline, you know, and I'm showing those guys who I'm working with that I'm grinding just like you are. Because some of those same guys are going to be in my basketball program, you know. So, like I say, I love what we do. I love what we stand for. You know, we're practicing hard every single day. We're running. I'm giving them discipline. You know, trying to give them the best of the best. I mean, like I say, the administration here, they are providing us new locker rooms and upgrades. And the kids, I'm telling you, man, they are really excited. And my office here is in the perfect spot. I mean, I'm right here where the middle school is. The high school guys, they come in, they pop in. Coach, how you doing? So, just be ready for some Greyhound basketball this year, man. As you see, the slogan you have on. Leave it all on the court. And that's what we're going to do, man. Like, when people pay to get into our game, I want you to see a show. I'm talking about a show to where you're going out and you're telling people, like, hey, that Coach Ransom and his staff, they got those guys, they on the right page. And they all loving each other and they all caring for each other. And just be ready for us.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you just some questions, like everyday questions.
Okay.
To see, you answer for the best of your ability. It's just little people questions. So, what's the first thing you think of when you wake up in the morning?
Thank God for another day. I always put on my Twitter, I don't know if you follow me on my Twitter, or whatnot, but I always say today's a perfect day to make a positive experience in someone's life. I love putting a smile on someone's face, and I feel like if you want blessings, you got to be willing to bless others. And like I say, thank God for this opportunity. Thank God for another day. Let's get dressed. Let's brush our teeth. Let's get our clothes on. Let's get going and see what type of positivity that we can bring to someone.
Hot or cold?
I feel like that's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? As a coach, I want a player that's hot on the floor. Let's just say hot. Let's just say hot, because I'm really not a cold person. I'm not a cold-hearted person. I like smile, I like warmth, I like the summertime, you know what I mean? And even though basketball is a winter sport, you know what I mean? I try to turn that heat on in that gym when we practicing and things like that, because I just want to get those juices flowing, and things like that. So I would say hot.
If you could have, an endless supply of something, what would it be?
Love. For everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, endless supply of love to where I can just share it with every single person on this earth. You know what I mean? There's so much negativity going on in the world today, man. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? Money don't buy you happiness, things like that. If I had an endless supply, it would be an endless supply of love so I could share it with. I have love, but I want everybody else to have it as well. And you meet some cold-hearted people sometimes, you know what I mean? Or you meet some people from all walks of life and things like that. So just spread love, man. That's it.
What am I about to say next? So you on an island. You only can listen to. Well, before that one, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Read people's mind.
Read people's mind?
Yes. If I could read your mind, I could probably act before you do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or I could probably see how you're thinking. Whatnot.
Do you want to know how people thinking about you?
I do. I would.
A good coach.
I would, because I would use that as motivation. Any negative, I'm going to try to spin into a positive, because I'm a positive person. Everybody's not going to like me. Everybody's not going to agree with everything I say, but I feel like I have a unique quality as to where you give me an opportunity, I'm going to win you over. Just because I'm always going to be genuine. Everything you get from me is going to be just real stuff. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying, so about that album. Say you're stranded on that island, you can only listen to 3 albums.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. 3 albums. It's a great question, man. Well, just growing up, I grew up, I'm a hip-hop type of guy.
Yeah.
I love Tupac. I love Tupac. So, me against the world. Yeah. And that's kind of the motive, the motto that I live by. It's like us against the world, you know what I mean? That would be one of the main albums, that I would listen to. Man, I guess there's so much music out there, man. It's just, man, that's a great question. My mom, you know, growing up, she was an R&B type of person. She, you know, I remember the Freddie Jacksons and the Luther Vandrosses and, you know, and the Stevie Wonders, you know, and a lot of Motown, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say some Motown, you know, some little Tupac, Snoop Dogg. You know, I love some Snoop Dogg. Anything that's gonna get that mindset and just get you in that rhythm and get you flowing, man. It's just positive stuff. Yeah, it's positive stuff. And like I said, I'm just gonna keep on stressing that, like positivity, positivity, positivity.
Yeah. All right, yeah, that's all I have for you today. Yeah, good luck on your season, man.
Okay. Hey man, I appreciate you coming by. You're more than welcome anytime, and go Greyhounds.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right. Yes, sir.